The forgotten chapel wasn't on any modern map. It sat on a stretch of land west of Arcus Vale, swallowed by overgrowth and forgotten by the city's developers. You wouldn't find it unless you already knew where to look, and the killer did. Detective Elias Vex parked a quarter-mile away and walked the rest on foot, flashlight in one hand, gun in the other. Midnight was creeping in, cool, damp, and oppressive. Fog curled around the trees like skeletal fingers. He kept the box from the theater tucked inside his coat pocket, the glass eye pressed cold against his ribs. The chapel emerged from the woods like a half-buried corpse, its steeple cracked, shingles missing, stained glass shattered. A single bell hung lopsided in the tower above, silent but watching. As he approached, Vex spotted something scrawled across the wooden double doors in red paint. Sloppy, wild. "The flock strays. The shepherd never does." The doors creaked open with a moan, revealing a sanctuary lost to rot and silence. Pews were overturned. The altar was cracked straight down the center. What remained of a pulpit leaned like a drunk about to fall. The air was what made Vex's stomach knot. It was thick, like stepping into a sealed tomb. Incense long since burned away had left behind a sickly sweetness. He could taste decay beneath it, meat left in the heat too long. He swept the flashlight across the room, beam gliding over flaking hymnals and mold-blotted carpets. Then it caught something. At the far end of the chapel, just before the altar, stood a cross. Not on the wall, standing in the center of the room. It was crudely built from rusted iron piping and wire, and bound to it was another mannequin. This one had a wig of blonde hair, red lipstick smeared across its mouth like a slash, and a rosary twisted tightly around its neck. Its eyes were glassy and wide, real glass. One of them glowed faintly green. Vex stepped closer. A speaker somewhere above hissed to life, static, then that same oily, taunting voice. "Welcome to confession, detective. You've been quite the diligent pilgrim. But tell me, are you here to save her? Or just to prove you still can?" The mannequin's head suddenly jerked, twitching on a string. Vex didn't flinch, but his finger hovered near the trigger. "I buried my first secret here, Elias. Buried it deep. Let's see if you're brave enough to exhume it." The line went dead. Then a low, grinding sound from behind the altar, stone against stone. He followed it, pushing aside the ruined lectern. Behind it, half hidden beneath a moth-eaten rug, was a trapdoor. He knelt and pulled it open. The stench hit him like a fist. A ladder descended into blackness. Fresh drag marks in the dust told him someone had been moving through recently, very recently. He holstered his gun, drew a knife from his boot, and climbed down. The passage was narrow and wet, carved roughly from earth and stone. His boots sank slightly into the dirt floor. The smell grew worse. Blood, mold, excrement, and under all of it, something sour and metallic. He passed a wall covered in childlike drawings, scratched into stone with something sharp. Figures of people hanging, eyes crying red. A stick figure kneeling before a massive shape drawn in frantic spirals. The word beneath it, F-A-T-H-E-R. He swallowed hard and kept moving. Finally, the tunnel opened into a small underground crypt. A single electric lantern buzzed overhead, and in the middle of the room, another mannequin. But this one was different. Its chest cavity was open like a surgical demonstration. Inside, nestled like a heart, was an audio recorder. He pressed play. The voice this time wasn't taunting. It was calm, cold, deadened. "Do you know what's worse than death, Elias? Being erased, forgotten. They turned my pain into silence. But you, You're listening. And because you're listening, I'll give you something real. She's still alive. For now. Time isn't your ally. Go to the place where children weep and mothers lie. Room 6. You'll know it when you see it. Another card was tucked inside the mannequin's ribcage, the ace of diamonds. On the back, scratched deeply into the paper, the heart bleeds last. Vex stood there, breath fogging in the lantern light, heart hammering in his chest. This wasn't about random victims anymore. The killer had a design, a message, and he was dragging Elias Vex straight into its pulsing, blood-warm core.